Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Sean. So this week I wanted to talk about the 5 things that I learned about finding co-founders and working with co-founders. So let's get started. Number 1, never force someone who's not a founder to become a founder, because it just doesn't work, right? And unless you're super rich, you can just hire that person, but that is not co-founding relationship. Let me tell you a story. So one of my previous startup experience, I was working with some close friends. Initially when students start to found companies, they think that, hey, let's just work with the people who we trust the most, who we have a good vibe with, right? And that makes a total sense, and that's how you learn, right? But then at the end of the day, you will realize that who will actually become very motivated, even if you're facing quite a lot of challenges and you're not sure about the roadmap, you're not sure about who's going to be the paying users in the future. So at that time, people who are not founder type, or who are not easily falling into founder mode, would think very logically. They would think, hey, this is not working, and why am I wasting my time, every week doing this, if I could get a full-time job, right? Yeah, like people who think too logically, or people who are less relentlessly idealistic, is very hard to become a founder. I learned this the hard way. I've done product and startup maybe 4-5 times in the past. For people who are less resilient when it comes to difficulties, for people who are not a creator by heart, for people who are waiting for very clear structured tasks in order to make progress, they're not the best co-founding partner that you could have. Especially if you are interested in creating a great company, if you are interested in making progress at a very fast speed, you need to find someone who can, match that vibe, who can match that energy level. Other than that, it's more like a founding employee type of person, right? It's just like you can't really turn someone who doesn't like you to like you. Number 2 is to build trust by working together. And what I mean by that is that oftentimes you might feel like, hey, this is the right person, and you perhaps think that your backgrounds match really well. Just try it by vibes checking and skill set checking in an actual project. Show each other something that you have done in the past, or show each other, how you think through brainstorming session and how fast you can take actions on things. That would help you to filter quite a lot of potential candidates who, firstly, maybe, they're a very good match with you because of the skill set matching, and also because you like this person. At the same time, maybe there's someone who you don't think that is a good match. Through working together, it's helpful to see which part of the skill set that you're missing that the other person can help you fill in, right? So to give you an example, people, of course, would pay attention to details about little things, but then everybody's attention is being paid to different things, right? So for example, in my case, I pay a lot of attention to how people react to, the ways we pitch. I pay attention to a lot of things related to the relationships, the dynamics in the negotiation table when we are dealing with customers, right? But then I care less about how do I make a very beautiful pitch deck? How do I make a very clear and succinct document? Of course, I would do that, but there are people who are paying attention to more details like that. So you don't get to know that you're missing this part until you see someone who's doing a great job at it, right? So I've definitely had experience in the past when good collaboration happened when people just specialize in what they do, and the only way to figure that out is by working together. And I think co-founder matching type of platforms is a good entry point, but in order to really truly understand this person, you have to work together. I've definitely heard people who went through Y Combinator co-founder matching platform and found a co-founder, worked together for a while, and one person put in so much effort, and then all of a sudden the other person just disappeared, right? Literally disappeared. So you don't know this person until you work together. So far at Antler, my co-founder and I have been doing a really good job in terms of, working through difficulties and bringing up new ideas when we get feeling stuck. So this is the kind of dynamics you want, right? You want to feel supported by each other. You want to feel that the other person is not just dragging you down, they're like constantly trying to find solutions with you at the same time. Number 3 is about energy check-ins. I think energy check-ins are really, really important. Not everyone performs the same way. Some people prefer to deliver so much in the morning. Some others prefer to hack the night, just spend the entire evening trying to build something. The best way for you to do that is perhaps, find the best pace for both of you or three of you, or if you have a larger team. It's really important to double check if each other feels good. Did you have a productive day? Did you have a good time? Do you feel very energetic, or do you feel like things are consuming your energy? Constant productivity and energy check-ins are super important for founders to stay aligned. Number 4 is about check-in conflicts internally first. I think it's actually very absurd if two founders are arguing about something and they can't really figure that out, and they have to involve, say, their investors to come to the table and be like, hey, one person is wrong on this side, the other person is wrong on the other side. You have to figure that out by yourself. You have to be able to have a system to resolve your conflict from day one. So don't be afraid to raise your concerns. Don't be afraid to have tough decisions or tough discussions with each other, because you're basically setting up the foundation of communications for longer term. Do not rely on external third parties to resolve your conflict. Try to get it done internally first, because you're one team when you're facing the investors, when you're facing the customers. Right? If you're disagreeing with each other in front of others, that doesn't look very good. That shows the investor that these guys haven't figured it out. These guys perhaps couldn't make a decision. These guys perhaps, couldn't reach an agreement. It's okay to agree to disagree, but then when you are out there as a team, you're supposed to be behaving as a team. Try to make sure that, in the early days, you're just talking through difficulties. I definitely had experiences in the past when some of my team members were not very motivated already, and then they just start to become, slightly passive aggressive, like not replying to emails, not replying to messages, not even sharing why they feel frustrated. I think I was mainly responsible for that as well, because in the early days we just didn't set it up. As you become more and more experienced in the founding journey, you realize that in order to have a really good co-founding relationships, you need to figure out how to resolve conflict from day one. Number 5 is, in my opinion, it's about in person. My co-founder and I currently, we agreed that we're going to have a hybrid mode, but in the first maybe month and a half, we were just in person every single day. I think that's really helpful, because during the ideation stage, when everything is immature, everything's still under construction, you're still setting things up, you're going to bounce into so many walls, and communicating remotely, in my opinion, just doesn't work. Right? You need to bounce around ideas. You need to have a whiteboard. You need to have to walk around together. You need to grab some drinks together. Just anything that can help you to bounce around ideas and disagree and debate and talk through things, and then of course enjoy life to build up this relationship. One of my previous teams, we were fully remote from day one, and we were across different time zones. I think for many startups that actually worked, but because the founding team actually had built a very good trust. For us back then, we also had a very good trust system, because we were students, we knew each other. But then later I realized that it just doesn't work as effectively, because when you have difficulties, when you have problems, firstly, sometimes you can't really, see each other at the same time, right? You need to find overlapping time to talk to each other. And then number 2, it's just very hard to have these heated up sessions to bounce through things and mock up things real time. Perhaps these days some of the tools are very helpful, like if you are both experienced using Figma or Miro, perhaps you could do that. I think during ideation stage, building in person is very important, and especially these days, shipping features takes hours, not weeks anymore, right? So if you have an idea, you can actually literally just get it done in the next couple of hours and then just continue to talk about it. Or you can just live demo it, live coding it. Those were the 5 main lessons or takeaways that I had from my past 5 years experience of trying to find co-founders and build teams and trying to solve a problem. If you're struggling to find a good co-founder, I would actually recommend a program like a co-founder matching pre-seed incubator type of style, because that helps you to, match around with a lot of people and then start working together. And then of course, you have coaches and mentors and stuff. Yeah, I think that's been very helpful for me so far. And happy building. Let me know how you think about this video, and like and subscribe if you feel like this is helpful. Thanks. Peace.